is the best-selling cards in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Penny Stock Market Watch. Right out the gate, this is still the #1 selling card, under $5. Let's take a look, see, because I know it's had a lot of listings. It's still this one at $248. So it still is going to be some time before it goes, yeah. It's still going to be some time before this card takes really far off. I just wanted to check in on it again. Ghost Ogre is taken off the Dual Devastator version. I talked about this card before. Hopefully you guys took my advice then, because it is shot up in price by a lot. People bought $385. This one's gonna be here for a while, but still, it's the whole set's very good. If you go to Dual Devastator and you're like, well, what about this card? This card's actually pretty good. It's just not as high in price. A card like Cosmic Cyclone, Anti-Spell Fragrance, there can only be one, Dimensional Barrier. All of those cards are actually really good. Lost Wind is interesting. I don't think it'll ever go up in price, but Lost Wind is actually a pretty good card. The next card I want to talk about is interesting. Both of these are right next to each other. That's actually kind of crazy. But the next card I want to talk about is this. Now, Eldritch Golden Lord, let's just take a look at all versions of this card. Okay, so we're just going to look at these two mostly, even though this one's sitting at around $5. So this says $5.74, $4.45, $4.46. So this one, we might have missed the boat. You might have missed the boat if you haven't invested on this one yet. But what about this other version, the one that got us here, right? So this is the maximum gold version. What I like about this too, and this is similar to the Ghost Ogre one that I was just talking about, it's an alternate art. So I think the main reason why this version of this card is more expensive than this version of this card, it should be obvious, is this one is just newer. But I think once time goes on, and we just got this reprint. We already have this reprint. We still have the original version. I don't really see another big wave of Eldritch reprints anytime soon. Like, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't really see that. Like, I mean, I can see them getting more support, or even indirect support, but I definitely don't see, like, Eldritch the Golden Lord or Cursed Eldland getting any reprints. And we look at this card, there's still a decent amount of versions under $5. Yeah, it's going to be over $5 very shortly, very soon. So might have missed the boat here, but just keep an eye on this one in particular. It might not be a penny stock for long, but it could definitely rise above the other version, because even though this is older doesn't usually always mean more expensive. It's the cooler looking ones, and in a lot of cases, both same rarity, both premium gold rare, this one's an alternate art, even though it's a little confusing looking. Okay, I guess you kind of see he's like leaning back. It's different. It's different, but it's still alternate arts. 9 times out of 10 sell better than other versions of the exact same card. That are just the similar rarity. Like there's some. I'll just, because I used this card already as an example, so I'll just go back to it just to prove my point even further. Ghost Ogre has a bunch of different cards. 7 different cards of the exact same rarity, right? And obviously, the OTS Alti is going to be the most expensive. And the Cross Soul Secret, I believe that's the first version ever, is going to be more expensive. But that's why I kept talking about the Dual Devastator version one, because it is an alternate art. And now all versions of Ghost Ogre seem to be going up, but you get where I'm coming from for that, right? And so the Eldritch Golden Lord, the most recent version, and that's the reason why it's the highest selling card. Right? Ghost Bell, it's another Dual Devastator card. I've never been the biggest fan of Ghost Bell. It doesn't feel like its situations come up enough. But once again, alternate art game, and this one, we'll just take a look at all of these, because it says it's as low as 210, and this one's as low as 365. But I doubt that. We got some 350s, 375s on the maximum gold version, and then the dual power version, you can get Korean ones. That's what's throwing it off. Oh, there's a mod play for 210, and then this is over $5. And then this version of the card, like I said, and this has been absolutely crazy. Goodness gracious. This is just over the last 3 months. I wonder if it's more Okay, so it's kind of been mostly trending downward over the last 6 months, but it's always been all over the place. I guess maybe I mean, Phantom Knights obviously interact with the graveyard a lot. That could be why this card's popularity is going up. But I've never been the biggest fan of this card. And I think this is, I mean, if you look at this trend, even if we limit it down to a month, I guess it's been kind of going back down, right? But that's how trends work. It works in waves, right? So you're just trying to sell it at the peak and buy it at the valley, and that ship may have already sailed, but this is still one of the best selling cards under $5. So it's something to keep in mind, something to look out for. And if we looked at, I'm curious to see, because there's a shop that I always see that has a bunch of versions of Gamer's Choice, right? Gamer's Choice was smart. Gamer's Choice clearly has like a bunch of Dual Devastator cards, and they clearly opened a bunch of those boxes, and that's really where the profits are going to start to be made. So it's not always. I know a lot of times it's almost like getting a lottery ticket when you get a pack, a maximum gold pack, or like the Grand Creators pack. Now, Dual Devastator and a structure deck is a little bit different because you know the contents of the actual thing that you're purchasing, but and that's the thing too, like especially in those circumstances, they almost always go up in value. I remember, this is going to be way back, 2015, 2016, the Noble Knight, and we're not going to look this up now, but the Noble Knight um box was being sold. It's like on sale for like 15 or 20 bucks. And now those are selling at like 50 bucks a pop. And there's individual cards in there that are selling at like 15s, and each card is like $5. That's just what happens when a set like Dual Devastator comes out, or even just a structure deck comes out. We even saw with one of the worst structure decks, in my opinion, of all time, Spirit Charmers, that has more value than it used to. So it's just something to keep in mind when the next structure deck comes out, or the next set like Dual Devastator comes out, where you know what you're going to get. Don't be afraid, if obviously you have the finances, to get a bunch of extra copies. Leave them in the box, toss them aside for a year, and then when you're watching a market watch a year later, and they're like, oh my gosh, Dual Devastator used to be worth $40 and no one would buy them, and now they're worth $60 and people are buying them. That's when you're like, oh my gosh, I have a bunch of extra Dual Devastator boxes. So that's just, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. The next card I wanted to talk about, and this is another, these Dual Devastator. It's just, oh my goodness gracious. What are you doing? This is the last card we're going to talk about. Also, too, just notice, I just wanted to mention, before we jump into DDDs again, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 DDD cards in the top 24 best-selling cards under $5. So you guys let me know in the comments down below, is this deck really worth the hype? I haven't read this card a very long time. There's other versions of this card too? Didn't even know that. Oh, the Mega Tin. They're both selling like hotcakes. There's 7 listings. This card was bought out. We don't, okay, because this is the penny stock market watch, I almost never see buyouts, right? Because usually a buyout is going to lead like 10, 20, 30, 40, 100, 200, $1,000, right? But this card, I mean, quick math is like 5. This is kind of weird. We'll say that one. That's a light play anyway. We don't want that one. So I'm just kidding. I mean, obviously, if you want, you can get light play. I just don't trust light play because one person's light plays, another person's mod plays, another person's near mint. You know what I mean? So anyway, once again, thank you for coming to my tech talk. Anyway, so 450. So let's say $5. 440, $10. That's $44 plus the 5. It's $49. $4 times 6, $24 plus the 49 is $73. And there was some change here, so let's say $75. 430 times 3, jeez, is $12.90, so $13 plus the 75 is $88. This is a mod play. I can't even imagine what's that looks like. And so then near mint, $4. We were at like 88, and so 9 times 4 is 36. It's about 124, 125, something like that. It's not 125. I think it's 124. No, yeah, no, it is. And so it's 124 plus the change. We'll just round all the way up to 130. You drop 130 bucks, which for some people it's a lot. For some people they have it in their pocket right now. So I don't know who's seeing this video. If you drop 130 bucks, you could buy this card out. Now, what will that look like? I don't know, because before the new DDD stuff came out, it was worth $1, and before, I guess like 3 weeks ago, it was not even $2. So odds are, if you want to try to play the buyout game with this, because I've done this before, and what ends up happening, it backfires, because this was a set that a lot of people opened packs to, and they're just like laying around, and they're going to watch this video or another video talking about this card, and they're going to post theirs for $5 and $6, $7. So you could play the game, spend $130 shopping out all of these cards, if not possibly more, and then selling them all back for like 10 bucks or 20 bucks or 30 bucks because you control the market. But odds are you start dropping them at 10 bucks, 20 bucks, somebody else is going to post them. So just keep an eye on it. I just wanted to do the math. If someone's sitting at home and like, well, how much would it cost to buy out all the remaining cards? Not a lot. This version kind of, is this Italian? Or Spanish? I think it's Spanish. So you buy 21 Spanish copies if you'd like. There's definitely more of this version, which is interesting. But I think it's just the set. Yeah, it's definitely just the set that this comes in, because Clash of Rebellions, it's a really old set. But Fair Flames. But I heard about that. I was curious. I heard about that. But there's a lot of like really good, really good cards here. Like if we just go to high to low, I've seen the Ghost Rare. Yeah, the Metal Flare Ghost Rare. Infernoid got a lot of good reprints, and I got a good printings in here. Red Eyes, which is just a fan favorite. Gem, like the Umromages, I think will always maintain their value. Mistaken Arrest is actually an interesting card. Cosmos. This was the first set Cosmos were in. Yeah, there's so many great cards from this set. And the only reason I'm talking about this set, not to say like go get this set or don't get this set, I just wanted to prove why there are more versions of this card. Because okay, the main rule in the Yu-Gi-Oh market, for those who don't know, is like if a card has a regular version and a Megatint version, the Megatint version will almost always have less value because there will almost always be more copies. But Clash of Rebellions was a very widely popular set. So honestly, between these two, even though this is, I think it was like the 23rd, 24th best-selling card on the market, odds are this one, and now we're doing this, of course, this one might be not the move. This is the 23rd best-selling card. I think the other version might be more intriguing because it has been bought out, but it hasn't made that spike yet. And maybe it has, right? So, you know, because a month ago, it was less than $1, and now it is about being sold for $4.28. That could be its spike, or this could be the first spike, and it could go up higher, right? But let me know what you guys think. What are the best selling cards that you're looking at under $5? Let me know in those comments down below. Make sure you guys click that like button to show your support for the channel. Subscribe for even more content. But most importantly of all, have a good day.